Chapter 81. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This has dropped below 30%, she might betray me at the slightest sign of trouble, this little girl is really worrying. She needs to be punished. Wang Xuan sat down and said coldly. You should have heard about the news that Lin An colluded with Rongdi to frame this prince, right? Lu Shishir smiled and said, I have heard about it. It seems that the banks under your control are not that good. How come there was no news about it in advance? Or? Wang Xuan's eyes fixed, you got the news but deliberately didn't tell me, that the atmosphere stagnated, however, Lu Shishir chuckled, Your Highness, are you joking with me? Why did Lin An collude with Rongdi and frame His Highness? Isn't it related to His Highness? That's why I didn't tell His Highness. Or is it that the information I received was wrong? I am so sorry, Your Highness. I am sorry for causing trouble to Your Highness. I apologize to you here. After saying that, Lu Shishir stood up and apologized silently. It sounds like her layout has been discovered a little bit. This Jianxia money house is indeed worthy of its reputation. Wang Xuan raised his eyebrows and chuckled, Miss Lu is really interesting. It's okay. I'm not that petty. How could I blame you? But since you have decided to join me, you'd better report all the news about the money houses to my Zhenbei Palace. Otherwise, I will always think that you, Shishir, want to betray me. If I misunderstand him and he does something bad, that would be bad. Lu Shishir was shocked. She did have other thoughts, or from the beginning, she didn't intend to become Wang Xuan's subordinate, she just wanted to cooperate with Wang Xuan before. The ups and downs of human relationships over the past 10 years have told her that no one is reliable, she can only rely on herself, so in name, she became Wang Xuan's subordinate, but she didn't have any loyalty. If there was a better springboard, she would abandon Wang Xuan without hesitation, but she didn't expect Wang Xuan to hit her so quickly. Was her mind too obvious? Shouldn't it be? She just showed her edge a little. From her observation of Wang Xuan, this little edge wouldn't be enough to hit her, right? Or did she underestimate the ability of Zhenbei Palace to get information, and some of her actions were known, so it aroused suspicion? It seems that the contact with those old guys has to stop, otherwise it will be more trouble than gain if she is misunderstood by Wang Xuan, the backer. Lu Shishir pretended to be pitiful and wept. Your Highness, although Shishir is unwilling, she has absolutely no intention of betraying you. I hope Your Highness will understand. After that, Lu Shishir's loyalty increased visibly from 27% to 30%, she entered the realm where she would not betray. As expected, Lu Shishir was an M. This knocking was really useful. Wang Xuan also pretended to be surprised and said, Shishir, why are you crying? I was just talking. This prince trusts you the most, Shishir. Lu Shishir wiped her tears with her handkerchief. Thank you for your trust, Your Highness. Shishir will report everything to you in the future. Wang Xuan nodded with satisfaction and said with a smile. Shishir must have come to see me this time for something important, right? Lu Shishir nodded and said, Yes, Your Highness. Recently, I have received news that the old guard of the previous dynasty has revived and it seems that they are going to make some moves in the palace tonight. Are you talking about those people in Dayu? Lu Shishir nodded. Wang Xuan frowned and thought, Dayu was the previous dynasty destroyed by Daqian, and it has a close relationship with Daqian, at least among the current aristocratic families. There are several aristocratic families from the former Dayu. But they are vested interests, not the old people of Dayu. The old people of Dayu refer to those frustrated and crazy people who are dormant in the dark and want to restore the country. They were also behind the forced abdication of the Empress 15 years ago, but Wang Xuan remembered that in the original plot, this group of old people of Dayu launched a palace coup later, but they failed. And the reason for the failure was because the news was found out by Lu Shishir. Then the Empress sent Lin An to wipe them out. It stands to reason that it is impossible to come out at this time. Is it because of his intervention that fanned the wings of the butterfly, causing that group of people to launch a coup in advance? It's really possible. Your Highness, this is a good opportunity. I think the Black Dragon Guards can go out together and take advantage of the situation. Lu Shusher was eager to try. Wang Xuan shook his head and said, "Don't underestimate the Empress. She is not as simple as you think." Lu Shusher was a little unwilling to hear this. "Your Highness really doesn't plan to take action? What if?" Wang Xuan smiled and said, "Shusher, don't worry. I will never forget what I promised you. But today is not a good time, we can't wade into this muddy water. If you don't believe me, just wait and see, those old men are just looking for death." Then he picked up the wine glass and said, "Come on. Let's drink and wait for news. We'll find out tonight." Seeing this, Lu Shusher could only suppress her reluctance and drink with Wang Xuan. After 3 rounds of drinking, the two gradually opened up. Lu Shusher's cheeks were as red as the sunset in the sky. She was indeed a little drunk. In fact, she would not let herself get drunk when drinking with others on weekdays to prevent others from taking the opportunity to do something to her, but somehow, she felt very safe drinking with Wang Xuan. It was probably related to her previous attempts. Several times it was brought to her mouth, but the Prince of Zhenbei refused to eat it. If there was no problem with that, it was that she was not greedy for beauty at all, but every time she could strongly feel the burning desire in Wang Xuan's heart. It was a pity that there was no next step every time. It was just a little special habit, but it was not unacceptable. Thinking of this, Lu Shusher's face became even redder. Wang Xuan looked at the beautiful woman with a smile in front of him, thinking that such a beautiful face must be delicious to eat. It's a pity that he couldn't eat it at the moment, so he could only watch. How about finding a reason to satisfy his desire later? Just when he was daydreaming, Lu Shusher spoke. "Your Highness, I am very grateful to you." Wang Xuan almost wanted to say, "If you want to thank me so much, why not let me play with your jade feet?" But when the words came to his lips, he changed them to, "Oh. Why do you say that? Your Highness's months, sanitary napkins really helped us a lot. These days, the sisters have not been troubled by menstruation." Wang Xuan knew that Lu Shusher's gratitude should be sincere. "Didn't you see that her loyalty value has increased by 3%? This loyalty value has been played by you, Lu Shusher." "You're welcome, it's just a small matter," Wang Xuan said with a smile. Lu Shusher then said a little embarrassedly, "So, Your Highness, can you give me some of those sanitary napkins?" Although she was already very unruly, in this era, it was still a bit shy to discuss a woman's private affairs with a man, or, it was a bit ambiguous. "It's used up so quickly." Wang Xuan was a little surprised. It was only 10 days since the last time he gave it out. He remembered that he gave out 10 packages in total, and each package was a large package with 14 tablets, that is, there are a total of 140 tablets. There are about 30 ladies in the entire Tianxiang Tower. In these 10 days, only 15 people have their periods, which is amazing. So there are only 15 people. According to his experience in his previous life, these 15 people will use at most 7 packages, so they shouldn't be used up so quickly, right? After hearing what Wang Xuan said, Lu Shusher's face turned even redder. She couldn't say that her bleeding was a bit heavy, so she used 3 packages by herself. So she could only be embarrassed to speak. Wang Xuan didn't dwell on it. Maybe the other party still had some, but just wanted to stock up some for emergencies. It just so happened that he had recently taken advantage of Lin An and Chu Siyan to get hundreds of thousands of luck points. The luck points of sanitary napkins were not a problem at all. "Okay. I'll have someone deliver it to you later. I'll give you 50 bags at a time. If it's not enough, you can ask me for more." "Thank you, Your Highness." Lu Shusher was very happy and stood up to salute. At the same time, the loyalty value soared and instantly reached 50%. As expected, Sophie had to take action. Wang Xuan was very happy. At this time, Lu Shusher sat next to Wang Xuan. Wang Xuan was puzzled. "Shusher, is there anything else?" Lu Shusher took a deep breath, as if she had made an important decision, and put her foot directly on Wang Xuan's leg. "Your Highness, I have nothing to repay you for. You can play with my feet as much as you want. Don't worry, I have washed it all." Chapter 82. You are listening at novelfull.audio. That I didn't expect Lu Shusher to do this. Is there any misunderstanding? Wang Xuan said seriously. "Shusher, what are you doing?" Lu Shusher was puzzled. Did she really misunderstand? Was Wang Xuan really not interested in women? But as soon as this thought came up, a warm feeling came from her feet. Wang Xuan still touched it and said, "But I see that you look unwell and you are probably lacking blood. I will just help you to get some blood flowing." Lu Shishir blushed. This prince is really shameless. In fact, Wang Xuan was just thinking about what excuse to use. Unexpectedly, he was quite considerate and knew how to return the favor. Then Wang Xuan could not refuse it. "You know what, this little foot has really been washed, and even some essential oil has been applied. Each foot is crystal clear and full like a grape, and it feels very smooth to the touch, much better than the last time. This time, I guess it won't make the skin scaly no matter how long I touch it." It seems that Lu Shishir came prepared. I can only say that she is really good at judging people. Wang Xuan really likes this now. On the other side, the human soul clone who returned to the Zhenbei Palace also saw this scene, and the blood in his body suddenly surged, and he sprayed blood from his nose. He was so scared that he quickly turned off the vision sharing. After taking a few deep breaths, he finally calmed down. Then he said fiercely, "Damn goblin. Sooner or later, I will eat you up completely." Then he asked in confusion, "Why is this soul clone reacting so strongly? The clones of heavenly soul and earthly soul are fine." Tianhun was even calm. Wang Xuan discovered the mystery. However, he still needed to study it carefully to find out what was going on. Maybe he could find some surprises. The sun had set and the moon was hanging high. Tianxiang Tower. Wang Xuan had been playing with the jade feet for almost 2 hours. Lu Shishir had gotten used to it from the shyness and stiffness at the beginning. From time to time, Wang Xuan would touch her sensitive parts, making her body feel a little hot. This heat would accumulate, and even made her gradually unable to control herself. Just when she was considering whether to mention it to Wang Xuan, boom! A huge explosion sounded. The flames that shot up into the sky illuminated half of Luodu. Looking up, Lu Shishir exclaimed, "It's the palace. They've taken action." Wang Xuan also turned his head to look. It was indeed an explosion and fire at Zhenbei Palace, and it looked quite large. Lu Shishir looked at it for a while, frowned and said, "But what are those people doing? That direction doesn't seem to be the Empress's bedroom, right?" That she had been in the palace before and knew the layout of Zhenbei Palace very well. Looking from Tianxiang Tower, she could just see some buildings within the palace wall. She also saw Fengming Palace where the Empress lived, but Fengming Palace was not their target. Wang Xuan also took a look and it was true, so he asked in confusion, "What do those old men want to do? What is in that direction?" Lu Shishir said, "It seems that the explosion occurred to the west of Zhenbei Palace. There are the Imperial Kitchen, the Imperial Concubine's Court, the Internal Medical Bureau and the History Museum." Wang Xuan frowned even more deeply. It sounds like there is nothing to plot against there, that they are all the logistics system of Zhenbei Palace, and they are not important. Could it be that they want to severely damage the logistics of Zhenbei Palace and make them unable to eat tomorrow? Wang Xuan wanted to laugh when he said this outrageous reason. In the previous life, the old people of Daiyu attacked Fengming Palace directly. Is there some secret that he doesn't know? At this time, Lu Shishir suddenly said, "By the way, there is an imperial prison in that direction." Imperial prison? Wang Xuan felt something was wrong in his heart. Daiyu old man, 15 years ago, Moron Wanqing. Wang Xuan's face tightened. Oh no. It's Lin An. That if you want to say what the variable is that Wang Xuan changed, Lin An must be the biggest. And Lin An has a close relationship with Moron Wanqing. Moron Wanqing is also a descendant of the group of people 15 years ago. She must have a relationship with those people. So the target of Daiyu old man must be Lin An. After figuring out the relationship here, Wang Xuan didn't care about his jade feet and left in a hurry. At the same time, Tianhun and Renhun also rushed towards Zhenbei Palace. Renhun also brought Zunlongwei. Lu Shishir looked at Wang Xuan's back as he left, and finally smiled. 3 hours ago, in the Jianghu prison, after being tortured by various torture instruments yesterday, there was no more good flesh on Lin An's body. But compared to the physical pain, the psychological damage to him was greater, and his spirit was close to the edge of collapse. What? Boy, just surrender to me. No one will come to rescue you. Your sister is just a stranger. It's already this late and there's still no news. You have been abandoned, ha 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 ha. You're just a poor wretch that no one wants. Quickly surrender. Only I can save you. A whisper kept coming from the depths of Lin An's mind, even if he covered his ears tightly, the voice still lingered. No. Shut up. Lin An shouted with all his remaining strength. You still think you haven't been beaten enough? Be quiet. The jailer outside the cell shouted. It was normal for people who had been tortured in the imperial prison to go crazy, the jailers were used to it, anyway. In the end, it would just be a corpse when you got out, so it didn't matter, it was just that the occasional shouting was really annoying. If it weren't for supporting my family, I wouldn't come here. The jailer muttered, not far from the imperial prison, in the Northern Pacification Division, Lu Qing was listening to the admonition of his immediate superior, Yang Su, the pacification envoy of the Northern Pacification Division. Is this how you do things? It's been a whole day. Can't you ask even one of your accomplices? How can we, the Northern Pacification Division, gain a foothold in the Jianghu? How should I, Yang Su, explain this to the Commander-in-Chief? How are you going to explain this to His Majesty, Commander? Lu Qing's face wrinkled and he gritted his teeth and said, I have failed your trust, please forgive me. Liang Su snorted coldly, forgive me. I forgive your sins, who will forgive mine? If you fail to handle this case well, not only you, but also I will be in a bad light in the entire Jianghu. Who can give me an explanation then? Lu Qing, don't forget who was the one who went against all odds and kept you in Jianghu. Is this how you repay me? Tell me, how long will it take to pry open Lin An's mouth? Lu Qing bowed his head and said, 1 day. As long as the pacification envoy gives me 1 more day, I will be able to give you a satisfactory explanation, Liang Su said coldly, half a day. You only have half a day. If you don't get the answer before midnight today, you don't have to follow up on this case. Take off this flying fish uniform of the Jianghu yourself. Lu Qing's face changed drastically, but he did not utter the words of begging for mercy in the end. He knew that Liang Su would not show mercy, so he could only grit his teeth and said, okay, half a day. I will definitely give you an explanation. Okay, I'm tired, you go down. Liang Su rubbed the Jingming acupoint with one hand and waved his hand to drive away. Yes. After Lu Qing left the Northern Pacification Office, he said angrily. Damn Liang Su. Sooner or later I will kill you. He also said that he had spared no effort to keep him, it was obviously he who secretly killed his father and took his mother away. Damn it. Liang Su must know something, so he was asked to interrogate Lin An. If he can't find out, let him be the scapegoat. Damn it. Lu Qing wanted to kill Liang Su, the bastard, with a knife on the spot. But he couldn't. He still had a mother and a sister at home. If he died, in this era, it would be difficult for 2 women to survive. No. We have to find a way to make Lin An speak. Lu Qinghong walked towards the prison. Not long after, Lin An heard the sound of the prison door opening, then he heard a familiar voice. Lin An, you can still sleep. Lin An opened his eyes with anger in his eyes. The person in front of him was the culprit who caused his anus to be broken, Lu Qing. He did not speak, but just stared at him. Lu Qing was unhappy with the way Lin An stared at him, and smiled cruelly. You hate me very much, right? What a pity you didn't get a chance to go out. Tell me your accomplices. Just tell me and I will give you a quick death. Lin An did not speak. Lu Qing had lost his patience. He did not have much time left. You don't want to say it, right? It seems that you won't cry until you see the coffin. So he dismissed his attendants. Lin An felt something was wrong and asked, what do you want to do? Lu Qing took out a small knife from his body. Do you know what this is? Lin An was silent. He didn't know what the small knife in Lin An's hand was. Lu Qing laughed and said, this is the knife I borrowed from the knife maker. Do you know the knife maker? Lin An's face changed drastically. The knife maker was the official who castrated the eunuchs. You can imagine what this knife is used for. How dare you? Chapter 85. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Faced with the questioning, the visitor did not hesitate. Your Majesty. A group of unidentified scoundrels are attacking the imperial prison. The imperial guards have already passed by. I believe they will be able to catch these thugs soon. Li Qinghuan frowned, flicked his sleeves, and snorted coldly. Are you Jianghu here to eat dry food? People have been called to your doorstep, but there is no news at all. Will the battle reach my Fengming Palace soon? The man said in panic. Your Majesty, calm down. Then he buried his head deep in the ground, not daring to speak again. The atmosphere was very solemn. After a long while, Li Qinghuan finally spoke. Okay, get up. I know about this. Go back and tell Zhang Yang that if this matter is not handled well, you will have to wait for the commander's hat to be taken off. Get out. Yes. The man got up and left in a hurry. He wanted to tell the commander quickly that His Majesty was furious. After the others left, Li Qinghuan instantly regained his composure, even a little lazy. It was as if the rage just now had never happened. If Unicorn was here, he would probably be used to it and there would be no ripples in his heart. When something like this happened, Li Qinghuan's first thought was not to be angry. Even if she was angry, she would not show it. What she wanted was to use this incident to hit the Jianghu. In recent years, the power of the Jianghu has become increasingly greater, and their actions have become more and more arrogant, but their strength is getting worse day by day. If this goes on, it will be over sooner or later. She had thought about rectifying the Jianghu before, and just now she used this incident to hit them. Later, she would support another force to check and balance the Jianghu. The art of the Emperor's rule is about balance. Never let a certain force dominate, and you can sit on the dire Yutai. Li Qinghuan's eyes reflected the fire in the distance, and the corners of his mouth raised a beautiful arc. It's so lively tonight. On the other side, Wang Xuan also rushed to the outside of the city wall of Zhenbei Palace. The gate of Zhenbei Palace was closed, and it was very troublesome to enter. Wang Xuan did not intend to go in and cause unnecessary misunderstandings. He waited at Chang'e Gate and Longqing Gate. This place is close to the west of the city wall of Zhenbei Palace, and is the palace gate closest to the imperial prison. If Lin An wants to escape as quickly as possible, the most likely way is to go through these two gates. Of course, he also sent some people to Yingtian Gate, which is the main gate of the palace city. However, the guards there are strict, and if Lin An is not stupid, he should not break through from there. But maybe Lin An will do the opposite and break out from there. As for the other gates, they are too far away from the imperial prison, so it is unlikely. However, he still sent some people to rush over. Wang Xuan and his group hid in the dark. The people at the two palace gates also sensed the movement in the city and began to be alert. After a while, as expected, there was a commotion at Chang'e Gate and Longqing Gate, and a group of people in black rushed out respectively. There were about 100 people each, fighting with the palace gate guards. They were all quite skilled, at least at the peak of the acquired realm, and some were even at the second level of the innate realm. The soldiers at the palace gate were not very skilled, and with a small number of people, they were quickly scattered and suffered numerous casualties. Seeing that the men in black were about to flee, Wang Xuan waved his hand and made a secret signal. Shoot! With the order, a series of air-breaking sounds were heard, and dense crossbow arrows fell from the sky and pierced the bodies of the people in black. Suddenly, there were wailing sounds. Oops! There is an ambush. Everyone, scatter and flee! With a roar, the remaining men in black scattered like birds and beasts, trying to escape. Wang Xuan would never let them leave, and shouted directly, "Come on! Leave no one alive!" The Xianlong guards drew their swords and rushed out. The men in black saw that they were surrounded and had no hope of escape, so they immediately fought desperately. However, the Xianlong guards were no match for this group of villains, not to mention that most of them had higher cultivation than the men in black, and every three of them could support each other and form a military formation. With the rise of their hands and the fall of their swords, the men in black were killed without a single piece of armor left. Wang Xuan stood on the roof, looking down at the gradually decreasing number of men in black, and frowned. Strange, where did Lin An go? Lin An is the son of destiny, only he can kill him. It should be easy to be discovered, at this time. Go to hell! Suddenly, a figure exploded from the black-clothed crowd and punched him fiercely. The speed was so fast that it reached Wang Xuan in an instant. the figure of the man who attacked was strong, and the round belly was even more conspicuous. It was the third brother among the people who had robbed the prison before. He had discovered the high and mighty Wang Xuan very early, and knew that he was of extraordinary status. And looking at that childish face, his cultivation should not be very high. It was probably the son of those aristocratic families who joined the army to gild themselves, but was just a straw bag. These aristocratic families were involved in such dirty things. He planned to capture the thief first, so that they would have a hope of escaping. So he resisted the urge to attack, hid in the crowd, and kept approaching Wang Xuan. Then he suddenly attacked and injured people. The third brother. The punch was not aimed at killing, but just to seriously injure him so as to control him. The third brother smiled as he watched his fist getting closer and closer to the young face. He could even imagine the other party begging for mercy later. He was very proud of himself. The eldest brother often said that he was reckless and asked him to use his brain more. Look. Isn't this using his brain? And he caught the other party off guard. It seems that after following the eldest brother for so long, he has made progress in terms of wisdom. The third brother couldn't help but feel happy, but he found it a little strange that no one of the guards around him stopped him. And some people looked at him and turned around to deal with his brothers. What's going on? Aren't you afraid of your leader? Fall into my hands. The third brother didn't understand why these people were not in a hurry at all. Humph. Wait until he catches that pretty boy, and see what you guys will do. The third brother was suddenly confused. It felt like a long time had passed, but why hadn't his punch hit the pretty boy yet? No. Why couldn't he move? Yes, the third brother was actually frozen in mid-air, motionless. Just when he was terrified and didn't know what was going on, the pretty boy in front of him smiled and said, "Where is Lin An?" The third brother's pupils shrank. Lin An. This pretty boy is here for Lin An. How did he know that we kidnapped Lin An? And he ambushed here in advance. Then he felt that his mouth could move, so he said in shock and anger, "What did you do to me that made me unable to move? Put me down now. If you are a man, you should compete openly." Compete? You think I am playing, don't you? Wang Xuan narrowed his eyes and said coldly, "I'll give you one more chance. Tell me, where is Lin An?" The third brother yelled, "I don't know who Lin An is." You asked the wrong person. Let me down. Humph. Don't know. Who are you kidding? When Lin An was mentioned just now, the fat man's eyes were obviously wrong. He must know something. However, Wang Xuan also knew that this group of people were willing to be bait, which meant they were determined to die. No matter how he tortured him, he probably wouldn't tell anyone. Even if he told them, he wouldn't dare to believe it. But who is he? He is a time traveler. What mind reader in his previous life? After watching a lot of things like Young Justice Bao, he decided to try it himself. Lin An is not here. Did he go to the east? The third brother showed disdain in his eyes. Could it be the west? The third brother laughed. Don't ask, I really don't know. That must be the north. The third brother still looked calm, as if to ask you to keep guessing. Lin An frowned. There are only 4 directions in total. He looked at the south, and the other 3 directions were not it. Which direction is it? Either this fat man is very good at hiding his emotions, or as he said, he doesn't know at all. If he really doesn't know, then it's really troublesome. Wang Xuan muttered to himself, Lin An is a son of luck. If he escapes, there will be endless trouble. Suddenly, an idea flashed in his mind and he thought of a possibility. Could it be that he? Thanks to, Dad, for the reminder note, and, user 393588915, for the flowers. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for your spending. Chapter 86. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Still in the palace. Hearing this, the third brother's pupils shrank. This information was immediately captured by Wang Xuan. He smiled and said, "It seems that I am lucky." I guessed it right? The third brother did not speak, trying to resist with silence, but Wang Xuan didn't care. He had already got the information he wanted. He was 99% sure that Lin An was still in Zhenbei Palace. Moreover, Wanqing was still smart. She knew that the most dangerous place was the safest place. If she wanted to escape at this time, she might be surrounded by Jianghu Tiki and the Imperial Guards. She might as well hide in the palace. It is very likely that she is hiding in Murong Wanqing's house in the palace. Jianghu can't find it, but now the problem comes. At this point in time, Wang Xuan can't really break in to find Lin An. No news can be brought in. He can only hope that Jianghu will be more alert and notice the clues, but he also has to make some preparations. At this moment, Wang San came to report, "Your Highness, all the men in black have been eliminated." When San heard this, his eyes widened and he wanted to eat Wang Xuan. He wanted to curse. Unfortunately, his mouth was sealed by an invisible force and he could not open it again. Wang Xuan looked down and saw that all the men in black had fallen to the ground, and blood was flowing. One by one, the Xianlong guards were finishing off the bodies on the ground to prevent anyone from surviving. What are the casualties? Only about 20 people were injured, no one died. He nodded with satisfaction. With overwhelming numbers and strength, if there were still deaths, the Xianlong guards would become a joke. Wang Xuan looked back at the third brother and smiled happily. "I killed so many of your people, you must hate me, right? Unfortunately, this is how the world is. You are either a chess player or a chess piece. When you are a chess piece, you must be prepared to be eaten. Judging from your expression, you are not still hoping that someone will come to rescue you, are you? Don't worry, no one will come. You have become an outcast. There is no chance for revenge in this life. Maybe in the next life. If you can still meet me in the next life. Goodbye." With a puff, the head fell to the ground. An angry expression froze on the face of the third brother. Wang San's heart trembled. The prince's martial arts were getting stronger and stronger. Just now, he only saw Wang Xuan wave his hand lightly, and the other party's head fell to the ground. This was completely beyond the scope of mortals and was close to the means of gods and demons. This made him feel frightened and proud at the same time. After all, Wang Xuan was the prince of his Zhenbei Palace. With such a boss, the future is bright. Unlocking the domain, the third brother's body fell to the ground with a bang, and Wang Xuan ordered, "Leave a few people here to handle it, and the rest of you will be divided into 16 groups to watch over all 16 gates of the Zhenbei Palace. As soon as you notice any unusual movement, signal me immediately." "Yes." After receiving the order, Wang San turned around to make arrangements. The reason why Wang Xuan made this decision was because he believed that although Lin An was staying in the palace now, it was not a long-term solution, and he would come out sooner or later. It was very likely that this commotion was just a feint. When the guards relaxed their vigilance, they would quietly go out from another place. All 16 city gates were possible. He had to guard the next 3 hours, because after 3 hours, it would be the time for the morning court. At that time, he could enter the palace and report his guest to the Empress. By then, Lin An would still be in the palace, and he would definitely have nowhere to hide. At this time, it would depend on whether Lin An was smart or not. On the other side, a group of people were walking through the Zhenbei Palace. The leader of the black-clothed men had changed into a blue eunuch's uniform, and followed Murong Wanqing with Lin An, who also changed into a eunuch's uniform. At this time, there were only 7 or 8 people left in their group, but all of them were experts. The leader felt uneasy. He wondered if the third brother had succeeded in breaking through. He had taken most of the experts away, and it would be much more difficult for the third brother to break through, but there was no other way. He had to ensure the safety of Lin An, which was the order of those old guys. At the same time, it was also to win the support of the woman in front of him. This was very important for their Dayu's cause of restoring the country. "I'm sorry, third brother. If you die, after Dayu is restored, I will let the old guys make you a prince." The eldest brother thought to himself. Everyone was very cautious and the atmosphere was very tense. They encountered several inspections along the way. Fortunately, Murong Wanqing was there, so they were not embarrassed. At this time, there was only a little distance left to the hiding place, and everyone relaxed. But at this moment, a lantern suddenly appeared next to them. Looking closely, there were 2 women. One was dressed in elegant and luxurious clothes, and looked very important. The one holding the lantern behind her should be her personal maid. "Hey, isn't this Murong girl? What are you doing here in the middle of the night?" This person is the late emperor's concubine, now the dowager concubine, Lu Rong. She is also a member of the aristocratic Lu family, a cabinet member, and the sister of the Minister of War Lu Chu. Murong Wanqing was also shocked. Why is she here? But she immediately saluted, still smiling on her face. Greetings to the Dowager concubine Lu, I have official business to attend to, so I can't say it out loud. The Dowager concubine Lu's face turned cold. Okay, relying on the support of that bitch Li Qinghuan, it seems that you, girl, don't take me, the Dowager concubine, seriously. I dare not. I am just telling the truth. Humph. Get out of the way. I'm not interested in knowing the dirty deeds of Li Qinghuan. Concubine Lu said angrily. Seeing this, Murong Wanqing quickly made way. Concubine Lu passed by with the palace maids, but at this moment, someone in the crowd couldn't help but look up at them, and happened to meet the eyes of the palace maids. The palace maids suddenly exclaimed. Everyone's heart tightened. Concubine Lu frowned and asked, Sure, why are you shouting? How can this be so embarrassing? The palace maid named Sure said in panic, Please forgive me, concubine, I didn't mean it. You did this on purpose. I told you to admit your mistake, but you still dare to talk back. Wait till I get back to see how I'll deal with you later. Sure was terrified. She knew too well how perverted the hearts of these women who had lived in the deep palace for a long time were. Last time, Chiner accidentally dropped sweat on her head while fanning her, and she directly put her into the steamer and steamed her alive. Until now, she still can't forget the look in Chiner's eyes when she opened the steamer. She didn't want to be the second Chiner, so she quickly knelt down and kowtowed, saying, Please spare me, concubine dowager. I really didn't mean it. I was surprised to see that the eunuch had a beard just now, so I made a sound. Hearing this, everyone's expressions changed drastically. Concubine Dowager Lu also heard the key and said lightly. You mean, are there any eunuchs here with beards? Sure nodded desperately. Yes. I really saw it. Where is it? Point it out to me. Lu Taifei said coldly. Man had sneaked into the harem, which was a serious crime. Sure immediately pointed out the eunuch who had just looked at him. Lu Taifei also noticed the beard on the eunuch's face, and then she angrily said to Murong Wanqing. Hey Murong girl, what are you doing? How dare you let a man in? This is the harem. Or is she the lover of that bitch Li Qinghuan? That makes sense. Tomorrow I will have a good talk with that witch Li Qinghuan. This harem is not a place where she can do whatever she wants. I will call the royal guards now to arrest all of you. Everyone's face changed drastically. Wouldn't they be exposed in this way? Murong Wanqing's face was ugly. She had a good plan, but she didn't expect such a sudden thing. Even if she could get away with it, when concubine Lu told the emperor tomorrow, wouldn't everything be over? Lu Rong was very proud. She finally caught the weakness of that bitch Li Qinghuan. By then, she would let everyone in the court know about it, and see if he still had the face to snatch her son's throne. But at this moment, a figure appeared in front of her. Before she could angrily scold the other party stretched out his hand and pressed her head. Then she heard a crisp click. After that, she was no longer conscious. What are you doing? Chapter 87. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Murong Wanqing exclaimed, because it was Lin An who did it. She didn't expect her brother to be so ruthless and decisive. It was completely different from his gentle and elegant image. It was like he had become a different person. Sister, if she doesn't die, we're all doomed. Lin An said coldly. Murong Wanqing was silent. She thought about it and felt that this seemed to be the best solution. If concubine Lu made such a scene in front of the Empress tomorrow, no matter how much she explained, the Empress would still suspect her. Once she was suspected, she would be finished. You two take the body and throw it into the well in the yard next door. Murong Wanqing planned to destroy the body. The two people who were pointed at quickly picked up the body. At this time, the boss pointed at Sure who was lying on the ground and said, What about this palace maid? Sure's eyes were full of fear and she was so scared that she couldn't speak. Kill her. Murong Wanqing said coldly. Since they had already killed one concubine, it didn't matter if they killed one more palace maid. Sure came to her senses and kept begging for mercy. Everyone was unmoved. At this moment, Lin An spoke up. Sister, wait a minute. My brother has thought of a way to completely cover up the death of concubine Lu. What method? Murong Wanqing asked. Lin An moved close to Murong Wanqing and whispered in her ear. The hot air from her ear made Murong Wanqing feel a little itchy. A blush flashed across her face, but she quickly recovered. After listening to Lin An's arrangement, she frowned and thought, can you guarantee that she will listen to you? Don't worry, sister. I have a way to make her behave well. Lin An said with a smile. Okay. I'll leave it to you then. Murong Wanqing nodded. Xiu'er also heard that she was saved. Lin An walked to Xiu'er and squatted down, smiling. Don't be afraid, Xiu'er, right? We are here to help you. You don't want to die, right? Xiu'er nodded desperately. Lin An cut his palm with a knife. Open your mouth and drink my blood. Faced with the threat of life and death, Xiu'er did not hesitate at all and opened her mouth to drink the blood flowing from Lin An's palm. It was also the first time that Murong Wanqing saw Lin An do this, and she didn't know what he meant. Well, then, you just do as I say. After a while, they threw concubine Lu's body into the well and left Xiu'er alone. After they walked away and hid, Xiu'er let out a shrill scream. Someone come quickly. The concubine fell into the well, but after sensing that the guards had been led there, Lin An and his party continued on their way. Because concubine Lu had alerted the enemy, they did not plan to hide in Murong Wanqing's palace, but planned to leave directly. The eldest brother finally couldn't help but speak. Isn't it too risky for us to leave directly? After all, the Jianghu are still searching for us. Lin An shook his head. It's dangerous to stay. Don't think that the people in the palace are fools. Concubine Lu died at this time, not earlier or later. What a coincidence. Do you think they will suspect us? In this way, they will definitely guess that we are still hiding in the palace. In this case, we must do the opposite and leave the palace as soon as possible. The eldest brother was silent after hearing this. Murong Wanqing also nodded with relief. Her brother had finally grown up and knew how to think, but she still asked worriedly, are you sure Xiu'er won't tell anyone about us? Lin An approached and whispered, don't worry, sister. The martial arts I practice are a bit special. If you drink my blood, you will be controlled by me. She won't tell anyone. Murong Wanqing was surprised. There is such an evil martial arts. How come she hasn't heard of it? But she decided to believe Lin An. After all, Lin An's every move just now has proved that he is reliable. Soon, the group arrived at the Xuanwu gate in the north. Murong Wanqing took out a brocade bag and handed it to Lin An. Sister will take you here. After you get out, open this treasure bag and decide whether to go or not. See you later, brother. Looking at Lin An's handsome face, she couldn't help but hug him. Lin An was not a fool. He could feel the feelings. His expression darkened. Now he was just a useless person. What reason did he have to give people happiness? Lin An nodded and clasped his fists and said, sister, see you later. Wait for me to come back. After that, he led the group of eunuchs and walked towards Xuanwu gate. With Murong Wanqing's token, Lin An and his party were not stopped and left smoothly. Murong Wanqing looked at Lin An's disappearing back inside. Goodbye, my brother. Although they will meet again, if nothing unexpected happens, this may be the last time they meet in this life. Outside Xuanwu gate, under the eaves of the street corner, this place is hidden, but the view is excellent, and you can see the movement of Xuanwu gate at a glance. A team of Xianlong guards has been crouching here for an hour. Li Dezhuang is among them. Waiting is too boring. He couldn't help yawning, and was glared at by the leader Wang Heir, who raised his orchid finger and pointed. Shut up. Don't make any sound. Hearing this, Li Dezhuang quickly shut up, looking aggrieved. He wanted to say, pacifier, your voice is louder than mine. And it's so sharp. Like a woman, but he didn't dare to say it. Not because he was afraid of being beaten or something. Li Dezhuang has already practiced the golden bell cover to perfection, and he can withstand more than a dozen attacks even from a master, so the whips of military law are really just a tickle to him, but the people of Zhuanlongwei are also stupid. After knowing that military law is useless to Li Dezhuang, they directly threaten not to give him a wife. That's too much. How can he not give him a wife? So he could only obey and didn't cause any trouble. In this way, everyone knew Li Dezhuang's pain, and teased him about wives from time to time. He was very distressed. thinking that after getting a wife, he must show off and make those bachelors envy him to death. Thinking of this, Li Dezhuang couldn't help laughing happily. Wang Er was annoyed, and was about to continue scolding Li Dezhuang. At this time, someone suddenly pointed and said, "Second brother. Look, someone is coming out." Wang Er's attention was instantly attracted to it, and he took a look. Sure enough, at this time, the door of Xuanwu opened a gap, and several people came out one after another. 1.27, there are 7 people. It's already past midnight, and so many people are still out. There must be something fishy. Wang Er analyzed. Li Dezhuang also became alert and interrupted. Then what are you waiting for? Just kill them. After waiting for so long, he couldn't wait any longer. Wang Er glared at him. Li Dezhuang. Shut up. Are you the pacification envoy or am I? How about I give you the post of pacification envoy? Li Dezhuang said with a smile. No need, second brother. The post of pacification envoy is too tiring. I'd rather be a general flag. The others also laughed, but they didn't dare to laugh too much. They were all holding back their laughter. When have they ever seen Wang Er, who was known for his cruelness and ruthlessness, suffer a setback? Wang Er was speechless. He didn't know if Li Dezhuang was really stupid or pretending to be stupid. He couldn't understand what he was saying, right? He didn't know why the prince wanted to recruit Li Dezhuang. He was stupid and ate a lot. He disliked this kind of rough guy the most. What he liked most was elegant people, as elegant as the prince. Forget it, don't think about it, it's not worth getting angry with such a jerk. Wang Er turned his head and focused his attention on the group of people. Go. Follow me. Chapter 88. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wang Er took the lead and walked towards the group of people, and the other Xianlong guards followed behind. He thought silently in his heart, judging from their skills and momentum, there is only one master among this group of people, and the rest are innate. There are 15 of us here. I will deal with the Grandmaster, and the rest of us can deal with the 6 Grandmasters. It's more than enough. Thinking of this, Wang Er decided to take down the 7 people. This way, there would be no need to send a signal to alert the enemy, which would make it even harder to catch them. So he waited for them to speed up and quietly caught up with the group of people. When they were in a remote place, Wang Er made a secret attack gesture. Everyone loaded their crossbows, aimed at the 7 people and shot them, then drew their swords and chopped them down. Ah! Who is attacking me? The sudden attack caught Lin An and his men off guard. 3 people were shot dead by crossbows or hacked to death by knives, and the rest were more or less injured. The only ones who were intact were the boss and Lin An. And the situation was not optimistic. Each person was besieged by at least 3 people, and life and death only took a moment. Not long after, another scream came from the side, and another person was hacked to death. Who are you? The boss was shocked and angry. He never expected that he would be ambushed. Is there a traitor? Impossible. Their plans were all temporary, how could they be leaked? The boss was puzzled. He couldn't think about it, because he had to deal with the master wearing a black mask in front of him. This man, like him, is a top master of the 2nd flower master. On the other side, Lin An was also dealing with the siege of the 3 Xianlong guards. Pretending to be very tired, he saw at a glance that the group of people in front of him were the Xianlong guards of the Zhenbei Palace. That is, Wang Xian's people. Lin An was shocked and suspicious. How did Wang Xuan know that he had escaped? Did he really have a plan? Where is Wang Xuan? Is he hiding in the dark, waiting for an opportunity to attack? With this vigilant mind, Lin An never made a full-strength attack, guarding against Wang Xuan's sneak attack on him, but after waiting for a long time, he still didn't find any movement, and the existence in his mind also told him that there were no higher masters around. It seems to be a false alarm, that there are only a small number of Xianlong guards here, so it should not be an ambush. Lin An grinned. In that case, you all go to hell. He attacked fiercely and hit the 3 people who besieged him. The 3 people had no time to react and were directly punched through by Lin An. After screaming, they were silent. Then he started to kill the rest of the Xianlong guards. The movement here quickly attracted Wang Er's attention. Seeing his brothers being killed one after another, his eyes turned red. Damn it, that he didn't expect that there was another master hidden in this group of people. If this goes on, they will be wiped out. This can't go on. Wang Er seized the opportunity, took a palm strike from the boss and flew towards Lin An, hitting him in the back with a palm. Be careful. The boss exclaimed. He didn't expect the other party to have this trick. He wanted to chase him to stop him, but it was too late. Wang Er got his wish and hit Lin An on the back, but the scene of the other party being hit and flying did not happen. Instead, his whole palm sank into it, as if it was stuck in a ball of cotton, and a cold breath wrapped around his arm. Wang Er's face changed drastically. He had never encountered such a weird situation. The other party was not a human at all. He realized that something was wrong and wanted to pull his hand out, but he couldn't pull it out at all. Lin An's head turned 180 degrees and grinned. Stop struggling, and accept death. After saying that, Wang Er's hand sank another inch deeper. He knew that if he continued like this, he would surely die, so he made a quick decision, drew out his embroidered spring knife and cut off his hand, then he quickly retreated. Oh. So decisive? Lin An began to admire Wang Er. If you surrender to me, I will consider sparing your life. Wang Er bandaged his broken arm with torn clothes, and a firm expression appeared on his pale face. You want me to betray the palace? Bullshit. Lin An looked regretful. Then go to hell. As soon as the voice fell, Lin An's figure disappeared, and he instantly appeared in front of Wang Er and slapped him hard. Wang Er was stunned. The speed was too fast. He, a second-level master, couldn't react. How could the opponent be so strong? He tried his best to move his body to avoid the vital points, but a chill suddenly surged in his body, making his movements stiff. Oops. This delay left him no time to dodge. Am I going to die? Wang Er was in despair. Suddenly, a familiar figure blocked him. Bang. Lin An felt that he had hit the metal with his palm and heard a crisp sound. Then he saw the figure holding Wang Er and using the palm force he had hit to escape directly. Then there was a burst of explosions and gorgeous fireworks appeared in the sky. Lin An was stunned. He didn't expect that a Xiantian realm could withstand his palm and not die immediately. Seeing this, the boss wanted to chase after him and wipe out the roots, but was stopped by Lin An. Don't chase them. Those two people were hit by my true energy and won't live long. Let's go. They have reinforcements coming. The boss could only stop, not being able to personally avenge his brother, and he was unwilling to accept it. The two of them killed all the remaining Xianlong guards, and there were only 4 of them left. Lin An ordered. You go west, you go south, you go east, I'll go north. Then he ran north. Seeing this, the others also left, but not long after, Lin An returned and left in the opposite direction. On the other side, after Wang Xuan saw the firework signal in the north, he led the Xianlong guards to that direction. In less than 2/4 of an hour, they ran into Li Dazhuang, who was carrying Wang Er on his back. At this time, both of them were not in good condition. Wang Er had a broken arm, his face was pale, and he had fainted. Li Dazhuang was better, but he vomited blood every few steps. When Li Dazhuang saw Wang Xuan, his face lit up and he waved his hands desperately. Your Highness, help. I'm here. What happened? Wang Xuan frowned. Wang Er was a top-notch second-flower grandmaster. To beat him like this, either Grandmaster Wuk or more than 5 second-flower grandmasters would have to join forces. The first 2 were unlikely, so 5 second-flower grandmasters would have to take action. That group of people were so generous just to save Lin An. Li Dazhuang's eyes were blurred with tears, and he told Wang Xuan everything that happened. You mean, Wang Er was injured by Lin An? Li Dazhuang nodded. Yes. I don't know why Lin An has become so powerful. He is obviously just a congenital. Wang Xuan looked solemn and alert at the same time. Lin An must have had some adventure. This destiny bestowed by heaven is really difficult to deal with. At this time, Wang Er woke up and saw Wang Xuan, and couldn't help but said sadly. Your Highness, I'm sorry. I have failed your Highness's trust. Then there was no sound. Wang San went forward to check and found that the person was breathing in more than out. The second one is dying. Wang San looked sad. Second brother. All the Xianlong guards couldn't help but shout when they saw this. Li Dazhuang also looked upset. how could this happen? I took the palm for you. Please don't die. Your Highness, please save him, that Wang Xuan smiled bitterly in his heart. Your Highness is not a miracle doctor, what can he do? It's so late now, even if a doctor is found, it's too late, but the next moment, Wang Xuan took out a piece of Tianshan snow lotus, third brother, feed it to the second brother. Wang Xuan was delighted. He didn't expect Wang Xuan to carry such a precious miracle medicine with him, and was willing to give it to them. Yes. He took the petals and planned to feed them to Wang Er, but Wang Er was already unconscious and couldn't eat at all. He was so anxious that he was sweating profusely. Li Dazhuang saw this and snatched the petals directly. Why is it so hard to feed medicine? After that, he chewed it up and fed it to Wang Er mouth to mouth. Everyone was stunned. Chapter 89. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This, Li Dazhuang, really reckless. Wang Xuan was very curious about what he would do next, because the entire Xianlong guard knew, Wang Er is a woman. That's why Wang Xuan had no idea where to start, because he didn't want to be beaten to death by Wang Er after she woke up. Seeing how brave Li Dazhuang was, we knew he didn't know Wang Er's true identity at all, but they had physical intimacy, which was a big deal in ancient times. Wang Er wouldn't kill Li Dazhuang, would he? It shouldn't be the case. At most, he could make the decision and let them get married. I just don't know if Wang Er can accept this fool Li Dazhuang. After Li Dazhuang's lips touched Wang Er, an inexplicable feeling arose in his heart. This sissy's mouth is quite soft and sweet. Damn it! Li Dazhuang, what are you thinking about? Li Dazhuang quickly raised his head and wiped his lips. Dazhuang! Do you know what you are doing? Wang Xuan said in horror. I'm saving my brother. We're all men, what are we afraid of? Nyo Er concealed his panic. Now I've become the benefactor of this sissy, I can't let him scold me again in the future. Good, good, good. The Xianlong guards couldn't help but give Li Dazhuang a thumbs up. Wang Xuan also shook his head and patted him. Dazhuang, you did a good job, in the future. Forget it, let's talk about it later. Li Dazhuang was puzzled. What does it mean to talk about it later? The educated people like the prince always speak in a roundabout way, not directly at all, but soon, they noticed something was wrong. After taking the Tianshan snow lotus, Wang Er's health improved, and the broken arm began to scab and no longer bleed, but his vitality continued to fade away. What's going on? Is this medicine useless? Li Dazhuang panicked. Everyone was also anxious. Wang Xuan squatted down to investigate and said in surprise. Li Dazhuang hurriedly asked, Your Highness, can the second brother be saved? Wang Xuan did not answer, but frowned. He felt a strong blood-colored qi lingering in Wang Er's body, which was corrosive. Although the Tianshan snow lotus was constantly repairing the damage, it was constantly destroying vitality. If this blood-colored qi was not removed, it would only be a matter of time before Wang Er fell. He tried to use the qi of his pure Yang Wuji Gong to bless the energy of domain, to dissipate the red true energy. The good news is that it works, and the blood-colored qi can be dissipated. The bad news is that it is too slow. With his strength, it will take most of the day. With such a long time, even if there is Tianshan snow lotus to keep him alive, Wang Er will die. Just when Wang Xuan wanted to ask Brother Wuji if there were any props in the mall that could remove this blood-colored qi, a familiar mechanical voice suddenly appeared in his mind. Ding. Demonic thoughts detected. Do you want to absorb? Is this bloody true energy the demonic thoughts? What is it? Brother Wuji, what are the demonic thoughts? All things that are not from this world are demons. The alien demons' thoughts are the thoughts of the alien demons. Good fellow, it's the same as saying nothing, but why did he hear a hint of helplessness in this tone? Wang Xuan didn't think much about it. He probably understood what the alien demons meant. It was probably a species from the outside world that invaded this world. It can be guessed from the previous system introduction. Let him become the villain who dominates the heavens. That is to say, there is not only one world here. This alien demon is an invasion from the outside world. No. Isn't Lin An the son of destiny? How is he related to the alien demon? Is this also part of the arrangement of the heavenly Tao? But it doesn't matter. Whether it is the heavenly Tao or the alien demon, I will clean it up together. And this, alien demon thoughts, should be a good thing, otherwise the system will not absorb it. It can also save Wang Er, killing two birds with one stone. Wang Xuan thought to himself, absorb. A suction force came from Wang Xuan's hand, and the blood-colored true energy that lingered in Wang Er's body leisurely and contentedly was like facing a great enemy. It tried desperately to escape, but it was still decisively sucked into Wang Xuan's body and disappeared. Ding. Capture the thoughts of the alien demon and gain 500,000 points of luck. Wow! I tried my best to get the wool from Lin An and Chu Siyan before, but I didn't get as much as I did this time, a full 500,000 luck points. I can't spend it all. I can't spend it all. At this moment, Wang Xuan wanted to kiss Wang Er hard. She is really his lucky star. But after thinking about it, let Li Dezhuang thank her for me. Everyone saw Wang Xuan's solemn face and thought that Wang Er was really hopeless, and they all looked sad. Even Wang San, who was good friends with Wang Er, was about to cry. Who knew that a red light suddenly appeared on Wang Er's body, entered Wang Xuan's body, and disappeared. Then he heard Wang Xuan say, "It's done, that it's done. Even the miracle doctor is not so fast, right? Your Highness, I know you are very sad, but you have to cheer up. It is up to you to avenge Wang Er and his dead brothers." Wang San thought that His Highness was too sad for Wang Er's death and lost his mind. When everyone heard this, they were also sad. However, they were very moved to see that the prince was so concerned about their Xianlong guards. Wang Xuan was confused. What does it mean? Why should I be sad? Why should I cheer up? Wang Er is fine, why are you so sad? At this moment, a cough was heard, and Wang Er slowly opened his eyes and cursed. Why are you two crying? I'm not dead yet. Old too. Wang San asked in surprise, are you okay? It's okay. I feel much better. Wang Er struggled to get up. Seeing this, Li Dezhuang helped him to stand up. After Wang Er stood up, he shook off his arm with disgust. Li Dezhuang couldn't help but muttered, what are you disgusted with? You're even eating my saliva. What did you say? Wang Er turned around and glared at him. Li Dezhuang's face tightened and he said seriously, I didn't say anything. I'm happy to see that you are okay, second brother. Most yes. Wang Er glared at him fiercely. Li Dezhuang felt wronged. He saved this sissy's life, but he didn't have any gratitude at all. At least he should be nicer to him. Seeing the two of them, everyone couldn't help laughing. What are you laughing at? Wang Er was puzzled. Isn't it normal for a person to scold his subordinates? It's okay. Lao Er. We are all very happy to see that you are okay. Wang San also said with a smile. Wang Er rolled his eyes at Wang San and ignored him. Instead, he walked straight to Wang Xuan, knelt on one knee and said, I thank you for saving my life. That when the demon's thoughts were absorbed by the system, Wang Er's consciousness had already returned, and he naturally knew that it was Wang Xuan who saved him. You are mine, it is my duty to save you. Wang Xuan helped Wang Er up. Wang Er was very touched. Li Dezhuang was speechless, as if he had taken a slap for him and carried the burden all the way, but he didn't even say thank you. Wang Xuan noticed Li Dezhuang's mood, so he smiled and said, of course, the person you should thank the most is Dezhuang. If it weren't for him, you wouldn't have been able to get my treatment. Wang Er also knew that half of his life was thanks to Li Dezhuang, but usually he ordered Li Dezhuang around and looked down on him. Now that he was saved by him, it was still very difficult for Wang Er to say thank you. Seeing Wang Er's tangled face, Li Dezhuang no longer held out hope and said, there is no need to say thank you, and I hope you can stop talking to me in the future. Everyone laughed. Okay, I promise you. Wang Er breathed a sigh of relief. She still couldn't let him put down his attitude and thank Li Dezhuang, but she decided in her heart that she would no longer despise him in the future. Oh, right. Didn't you get hit by a palm as well? Are you okay? Wang Er suddenly asked. Li Dezhuang smiled and shook his head. I have the kung fu that His Highness gave me, and I have practiced it to perfection. It's okay, just a little bit painful. De Zhuang, come here and show me. Wang Xuan said. Li Dezhuang wanted to say that he would just go back and apply some medicine, but after all, it was his Highness' order, so he walked over obediently, then turned around and exposed his back. At this time, the armor on it had been broken, revealing a large hole in the shape of a palm, and the edges were burned black. On the exposed back skin, there was also a blood-colored true energy lingering, constantly eroding Li Dezhuang's flesh and blood, but the golden energy in it seemed to have life, constantly entangled with it, and consumed each other. Even if Wang Xuan did not take action, with Li Dezhuang's own strength, it would take some time to consume the alien demon thoughts in it. Good guy. Is this Li Dezhuang practicing the golden bell cover? And is it just perfect? Why does it feel like he is practicing something different from him? Sure enough, the body refining talent is full. Wang Xuan couldn't help but sigh. It's really nothing serious, but I'll help you clear the energy, so you don't have to waste your time. Li Dezhuang was embarrassed and was about to say no, but Wang Xuan's hand was already on it. This is a lot of luck. Xuan would let him run away. Ding! Capture the demon's thoughts and gain 500,000 points of luck. Another 500,000. He sent it. Chapter 90. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the other side, while escaping, Lin An heard a scream in his head. Lin An asked worriedly, "My lord, what happened?" "It's okay. Keep going." The voice in his head answered, although Lin An didn't think it was okay, because the voice was obviously much weaker, but seeing that he didn't want to talk, Lin An didn't continue to ask. Now was not the time to argue, so he continued to walk in the original direction. After a while, he came to the door of a mansion. There were two big words written on the plaque, Chu Mansion. Li Dezhuang felt refreshed, and the vague pain in his back disappeared. His Highness is amazing. Not only is his martial arts the best among his peers, but he also knows medical skills. He just looks a little pale and tender. The man should be as strong and manly as him, Li Dezhuang, but his mother also said that for a man, there are gains and losses. The prince already has enough, and not being manly enough is not a big problem. Wang Xuan did not notice Li Dezhuang's expression. He was thinking at this time, what should he do next? Your Highness, let me lead the brothers to hunt down that group of people. I want to avenge my brothers who died in the Xianlong Guard. That the rescue troops just now came back, but they only brought back 13 bodies. Everyone was instantly furious, clamoring for blood debts to be paid with blood. Before Wang Xuan could speak, Wang Er stopped him and said, "Third brother, don't be impulsive. Lin An's strength is very strange. He has surpassed the second flower master. Except for the prince, no one among us can be his opponent. But now we have no idea where they fled to. If we split up the search and run into Lin An, there would probably be heavy casualties again. But if your Highness comes with us to search, Luodu is too big, and we can't finish the search before dawn, and the other party will have already run away." Wang Er also said what Wang Xuan was thinking. What should we do? Just let it go. Wang San also knew that his proposal was unrealistic, but how could he be willing to let the real murderer who killed their brothers go? Wang Xuan smiled and said, "No. We don't have enough manpower in the Xianlong Guard, but don't forget whose territory this Luodu is, and who is more anxious now." Wang San suddenly realized, "Your Highness means, Jianghu." Wang Xuan nodded, "Yes, the black-clad men at Changle Gate and Longqing Gate should have been handed over to Jianghu by now. Lao San, take my token and go to Jianghu and tell him the news here. Zhang Yan will know what to do." Jianghu's tiki has more than 10,000 people. They are more suitable for searching people in Luodu than the Zunlongwai with hundreds of people. Even if Lin An died, Wang Xuan would not feel sorry. Yes. Wang San left immediately after receiving the order. Your Highness, should we do something? Should we just wait for the news? Wang Erdeo. You go back and have a good rest. Ask Lao Si to host it for you, and Li Dezhuang, you supervise her for me. I'm going to the palace. If the Jianghu fails, we must at least get some information from that bitch Muron Wanqing. I hope it's not the worst outcome. Wang Xuan also knew that the Jianghu were much more corrupt than before, but at least he hoped they would be more effective today. Otherwise, he would have to trouble him again. Got it, Your Highness. Li Dazhuang was happy to accept this order. Your Highness, Wang Er was unwilling to give up. She wanted to avenge her brothers personally. It was because of her misjudgment that her brothers were killed and injured. If she couldn't avenge them personally, she would regret it for the rest of her life. Wang Xuan turned around and left. Wang Er wanted to go up, but was stopped by Li Dazhuang. Second brother, you better come back with me obediently. Wang Er said angrily, I am your boss. Li Dazhuang was a little scared, but when he thought of His Highness's support for him, he became tough again. His Highness asked me to take you back, so come with me. I won't. Wang Ercai didn't want to listen to him and just spared him, but Li Dazhuang got angry and directly lifted her up by the waist. Let me go. Li Dazhuang. Do you want to die? Wang Er was furious and struggled to get down, but her body had not recovered yet, and her strength was not good enough, so she could not break free from Li Dazhuang's restraints for a while, but no matter what, she was also a master of Erhua. It can be seen that Li Dazhuang still has some strength. Seeing this, the Xianlong guards exclaimed. Is Li Dazhuang so reckless? The second brother is so narrow-minded. He will suffer in the future. This is a matter between a young couple. This is called romance, don't you understand? The whispering sound reached Wang Er's ears, making her face shy and annoyed. Young couple with Li Dazhuang. Bah! Who wants this foolish man who doesn't understand romance and has water in his brain? The man Wang Er, must be at least as elegant as the prince. These guys are really outspoken. It seems that I am usually too good to them. After the wounds are healed, let them see again the fear of being dominated by me. He. For some reason, the Xianlong guards who were watching felt a chill in their hearts. It was just getting light. The morning court had already started in the main hall of Zhenbei Palace. The noise of the prison break last night had finally affected Li Qinghuan's sleep. She was listless and a little drowsy. She couldn't even hear clearly what the ministers were saying. Your Majesty. Li Qinghuan came back to his senses and saw Du looking at him. Du Qingjia, what's the matter? Du knew that Li Qinghuan was distracted. However, he did not say it out loud, but just repeated what he had just said. Last night I heard that the Jianghu prison had a failure and the treason criminal Lin An was taken away. This is a serious matter. I want to impeach the commander of the royal guard, Zhang Yang, and the governor of the city, Liang Su, for their poor governance. Your Majesty, please remove them both from their posts to serve as a warning to others. Li Qinghuan sighed. She had known about this for a long time. Zhang Yang had apologized to him this morning, and she had also reprimanded him. After all, the royal guard was her man, and Zhang Yang was her confidant. She still had to protect him. My dear minister, you are absolutely right. However, the Jianghu had already wiped out most of the men in black last night, and they are still looking for the wanted criminal Lin An. So, why don't we wait until Lin An is arrested before discussing this matter, okay? After all, changing the coach midway is a big taboo. Du's face froze. This. Okay. Then he retreated. Then he continued to talk about some things. In the end, no one came out, so Unicorn said, if you have something to say, come up and report it. If you don't, leave the court. Li Qinghuan breathed a sigh of relief. This damn morning court was finally over. She would go back and have a good rest and get some sleep, but at this moment, a eunuch hurried in. Your Majesty, the Prince of Zhenbei requests an audience. Thanks to Jin Yi Xing for the reminder.